Hi, this is Deepak. How are you? It's great to be here again with all of you. Today I'm taking a little break from answering questions that you send to info@jayo.com. Keep sending your questions. Once again, the email address to send your questions is info at jayo.com, J-I-Y-O. Also download the app, Jayo, J-I-Y-O. This is the place where we want to collectively hang out so we can heal ourselves both personally and socially, and ultimately help heal the world and move our collective consciousness in the direction of a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier and happier world. But today I want to take a break and announce to you my new book with Dr. Rudy Tanzi, and it's called The Healing Self, a revolutionary new plan to supercharge your immune system and stay well for life. Okay, so the book is called The Healing Self. This is an uncorrected proof. The book is now available for pre-order if you go to online stores such as Amazon or Barnes & Noble or any of the online stores. And you can of course pre-order it right now, which would create a bit of a buzz. So I'm being shameless here and asking you to help create that buzz by pre-ordering this book on Amazon. So now that I can put this aside for a moment, and I'll of course show it to you again, let me give you a little bit of history. So I trained in internal medicine and endocrinology, and most of my training was in the Boston area, except for the first year, which was in New Jersey. So I trained at various hospitals, including Leahy Clinic, and then the Boston VA Hospital, and then I was associated with all the various universities and medical schools in Boston, including Tufts Medical Center, Tufts New England Medical Center, the Boston VA Hospital, Leahy Clinic, New England Deaconess Hospital, and also Joslin Clinic. Then I trained in endocrinology and then neuroendocrinology, which is the study of hormones, and then also brain chemistry. And at this time I became convinced that our states of consciousness and awareness, particularly our emotional states, had a lot to do with the state of our biology. So I was familiar with an ancient Vedic expression. If you want to know what your experiences were like in the past, then you can examine your body now. If you want to know what your body will look like in the future, then you can experience your, then you can look at your experiences right now. And if you want to create a new body or reinvent the body, then you must be conscious of all the choices you make right now. And then, you know, also, as I expanded my understanding of what was then called the mind-body connection, I realized that that was not enough. We had to go deeper beyond the mind-body connection to the source of both the mind and body. And of course that is our awareness, that is consciousness. Consciousness modulates itself into that which we call mind, body, and ultimately experience of the world, and that experience of the world then feeds back to modulate further that which we call the mind, the body, and the experiences of the world. It's one big feedback loop. And today, of course, we are talking about whole systems biology. But when I was in training and also in practice and also a research fellow, not much was known about this, and people were very reductionist even then, and they are even today. So I've had a long career in this field of healing. It started in 1985 when I wrote Creating Health, and then 1988 when I wrote Quantum Healing, which is about how a shift in consciousness can cause a shift in biology. And then, of course, I wrote many books in this whole area of healing, perfect health, the 10 ways to reverse aging, ageless body, timeless mind, reinventing the body, resurrecting the soul, and then with my dear friend Rudy Tanzi, who's a neuroscientist and also a geneticist and an expert in Alzheimer's, I wrote Super Brain, which became a huge bestseller, and then I wrote Super Genes, and now this is our third book together, Rudy Tanzi and myself. So how is this any different? Well, you know, over the years, as we've looked at the science on healing, everything that I kind of intuited is now becoming science. So we have new sciences now, you know, neuroplasticity, how experiences Muhammad Nabil al-Masri from Egypt. Lots of love to you, Muhammad. So as I was saying, everything that seemed intuitively right back in 1985 and in the 1990s and on through 2000 and the years later, everything that seemed intuitive is now, of course, becoming scientifically validated. So we have new fields like neuroplasticity, epigenetics, microbiome, gene expression, looking at the vagus nerve and how it modulates everything from your emotions to the tone of your voice to your facial expressions to your heart rate variability, and also things like how self-regulation occurs in the internal organs in our body, the viscera, how the vagus nerve has bidirectional traffic from the brain to the body, including showing your facial expressions and your moods, your heart rate variability, which is an expression of stress or the lack of stress, and then everything that's happening in your microbiome. And the traffic, as I said, is bidirectional from the brain to the body and back from the body and the gut to the brain. Now we talk about three kinds of brains. One here, the second, what we call the brain in the heart, and the third is the brain in the gut. But the body operates as one system. And today it's becoming clear that the future of well-being is a deeper understanding of what we call whole systems biology, and that new mind-body therapies are emerging. This is a diagram in the book, and this diagram talks about all the mind-body therapies and how we can look at the mind and brain as expressions of consciousness, and how that mind-brain system influences every organ in the body, including what's happening in your gut, microbiome, your immune system, your endocrine system, and how this is all part of one wholeness. And of course, you know, your biology ultimately is an expression of the total universe in microcosm. So many ancient wisdom traditions say that the microcosm reflects the macrocosm. In Vedanta, there's an expression, yatha pinde, tatha brahmande. As is the atom, so is the universe. As is the microcosm, so is the macrocosm. As is the human body, so is the cosmic body. And that in every cell of yours, the whole universe is expressing itself as an activity, as a verb. So I want to tell you what's in this book. The book is called The Healing Self, a revolutionary new plan to supercharge your immune system and stay well for life. It's co-authored with neuroscientist and geneticist Rudy Tanzi. He's an important guy in the world of science and biology and genetics and neuroscience. And I will come back in 15 seconds to tell you more about it. But as I said, the book is going to be out end of January. But if you pre-order it now, it will help create a buzz, which will, of course, expand the conversation and will make Rudy and me very happy. But in the next few months, I'm going to discuss all the topics in this book. And also, Rudy and I are going to have a public television program in March about the mind-brain-body connection and how it pertains to the healing self. So let me come back to you in 15 seconds and tell you a little bit more about what's in this book. So what I was going to do is, why don't I actually just read to you the chapter titles, okay? The introduction to the book overview is Wellness Now, Many Threats, One Great Hope. And what's the great hope? Is your own consciousness. And then part one is called The Healing Journey. And here are the chapter headings. Getting Real, Getting Started. That's chapter 1. Chapter 2, Who Stays Well and Who Doesn't. Chapter 3, Nothing is Better Than Love. So the biology of love, how love creates self-organization, self-regulation and healing. Chapter 4, Lifeline to the Heart. So how your heart has a brain of its own. You remember the famous expression of, I think it was Pascal, who said the heart has reasons that reason doesn't know. The heart is a source of great intelligence. Chapter 5, Getting Out of Overdrive. Chapter 6, The Biggest Single Thing to Heal. Chapter 7, Mindful or Mindless. Chapter 8, The Hidden Power of Beliefs. Chapter 9, The Wise Healer. And Chapter 10, The End of Suffering. So that is part 1, the healing journey of this book. The Healing Self, a revolutionary new plan to supercharge your immune system and stay well for life. And now, the second part of this book, which, you know, our editor encouraged us to make it as practical as possible. So we have in the second part of the book a 7-day action plan for self-healing or activating self-healing. And so this part is called Part 2, Healing is Now. So the action plan for Monday, anti-inflammation diet. The action plan for Tuesday, stress reduction. The action plan for Wednesday, anti-aging. You know, I've talked about how biological age and chronological age and psychological age can all be different, and I've talked a lot about anti-aging in the past. But now we do have some great science to say that your biological age, which is measured through your genetic clock, telomerase levels, also telomere length, inflammation in the body, but other things like body temperature regulation, fat content in the body, cholesterol, HDL ratios, thickness of skin, stress hormone levels, growth hormone levels, sex hormone levels, the amount of fat in the body, the skin thickness, immune function, endocrine function. All of these have effects on how you age. They're also markers of how you age, and they're all very flexible depending on how you perceive reality, how you interpret aging, how you create social constructs around aging, how you perceive your body, whether as simply matter but also as energy, information, and ultimately consciousness. So anti-aging is a science. Wednesday we give you tips for anti-aging. Thursday is about the cycles of rest and activity and that we all go through in a 24-hour period. Therefore, it's about circadian rhythms. Friday, it's about core beliefs and how to change them. Saturday, is about non-struggle, about flow, about effortless spontaneity. And then Sunday is about evolution. So those are the 7 days of self-healing in this book. And then we have an afterword. And then Rudy wrote a special chapter on Alzheimer's disease today and tomorrow because he's the world expert on Alzheimer's. And then he and I thought about, how we're going to be treating cancer in the future. Because cancer is not one disease, but many diseases. But you should know that only 5% of disease-related gene mutations are fully penetrant, and therefore even those mutations which increase our likelihood of chronic disease, whether it's cancer, autoimmune illnesses, Alzheimer's, other degenerative disorders, they're related to inflammation in the body, low-grade inflammation. So this is a summary of the book. The book is called The Healing Self, a revolutionary plan to supercharge your immune system and stay well for life. So everybody's asking, why is this backwards? I guess it's the camera, but you can still make out that it's called The Healing Self, a revolutionary new plan to supercharge your immune system and stay well for life. So I'm with you every day. I don't need to tell you more about myself, but let me tell you a little bit more about Rudy. So Rudy Tanzi, PhD, is a New York Times best-selling author. He's the Joseph P. and Rose F. Kennedy Professor of Neurology at Harvard University and Director of the Genetics and Aging Research Unit at Massachusetts General Hospital. He was named to Time magazine's Time 100 Most Influential People in the year 2015. Rudy is like a brother, and now we are doing a lot of collaboration. Jenny asks, where can we order it? You can order it on Amazon. If you go to Amazon.com, just type out The Healing Self, type out my name, Deepak Chopra, and Rudy Tanzi. As I said, you can pre-order it. And then Rudy and I were doing a very special public television program on how mind, brain, body, and consciousness all work together. So grateful as usual for your support, and I will continue discussions on You Are the Universe, discovering your cosmic self. But I think we all also recognize right now that the world is in desperate need of healing. We all need to heal our body, mind, We all need to heal ourselves. We all need to transform ourselves. We all need to create a global movement for anti-inflammation. Rudy is going to help me with that too. And we all need to see how we can simmer down the inflammation in our mind, in our brain, in our body, and our society. We couldn't do this without you, and so let's together create our own healing, our own transformation, and through that our collective transformation and healing the world. As I've said many times before, healing is the return of the memory of wholeness. Health, healing, wholeness, and that which is holy. It's all that. Okay? So let's focus on the healing self, the ultimate and supreme genius in you that mirrors the wisdom of the universe. Good to see you here, Ramanand Dikshit. Good to see all my friends here. And let's continue this conversation in the coming months. I'll also be touring the country. And as I tour the country, I hope to see many of you during the book tour as well. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, okay? Lots of love.